Okay, now to continue with the pasuk, we have the background a little bit. So, ויאמר עשיו אל יעקב, הל יתננו מן האדם הזה, כי אוהב אנוכי, על כן גורש שמה אדם. Esav says to Yaakov, give me some of that. You're making for Dad. You know what I'm making? Do you know what just happened? Do you know what's going on in the family? And Esav is, look, grandfather. So what's Yaakov's reaction? It means nothing. Sell me the Bechorah. If it means nothing, sell me the tradition that's supposed to be passed down on your hands. If it's nothing, I'll give you this lentil soup. That's for father who's mourning. Father! Mourning! Ah! He can't control it. Yaakov pours it in his mouth. Drinking like an animal. And Yaakov says, ויאמר יעקב, מכרה חיים, את בחרה תאכול לי. Yaakov says, מכרה kiyom, make it like day. Let's sign a contract. You're selling it. You want nothing to do with it. It's all mine, the Bechorah. You're not going to come to claim anything from this family. Nothing. I don't need anything. I have everything. I have everything. Well, signs on it. And then what happens? Esav doesn't even go visit the family. The whole family is quiet and in mourning and in shock. They weren't expecting Avram to die so quickly. They thought he had a few more years. 185. That's what everybody was saying. So, where are we? He makes him swear. And he gives them and he drinks. He drinks. He eats. I'm out of here. I don't need any of you. I don't need your family. I don't need none of this. I got everything. Just take a look. And there's this whole new entourage of all of Nimrod's bad guys and bad crew. And Esau says, guys, let's get out of here. And they leave. That's what happened over there. But that's why Yaakov had this transaction at this moment. It's all in context. Next. וירעב באורס מלבן הרעב הראשון אשר היה בימי אברהם וילך יצחק אל אבימלך מלך פלישתים ג'רורה. There's a Rahav? No, what? What do you mean? It's just like when Abraham came down, there was a Rahav. What's the connection? No water. No water from the ground, no wells, no rain. What's going on? Avram comes to Israel, Canaan, Rav. Avram goes to Egypt. Avram comes out, digging wells, getting richer, digging more wells, bringing the water to him. Hagar got a well. Ishmael got a well. Everybody got a spring off of the Be'er Mayim Chaim. Avraham dies. That zchut goes. So now there's a Rav. Avraham just passed away. So what do? We do what our fathers do. It worked for them. Maybe it's going to work for us. He goes down. He wants to go down to Egypt. Hashem says, no, you don't need to go to Egypt. Why? What is it about Egypt? Egypt is different than the rest of the Middle East. The rest of the Middle East gets their water from rain. That's how they have water to drink, water to work their fields, etc. Egypt gets its water from the Nile. The Nile gets its water from underground. Deep, deep wells in Congo or something. They don't even know where the Nile River actually starts. It just oozes out from underground at some point. It goes all the way north, goes through Egypt. Once a year there's a flood. It floods all the land, brings all the nutrients, all the fresh water, and they have water. They make canals, irrigation canals. So they go to, Avram goes to Egypt, and when he comes out, he has the ability, I think it has to do with Sarah Imenu, because we're talking about the Mei Nukvin. And it was Sarah having to be trapped and her calling out that attracted the water. Her stuck and calling out attracted the water. Just like, well, we'll get there, I guess. So Rivka is different. Rivka and Yitzchak are different. Because Rivka is in Haran, and when she goes to the well, the water already is attracted to her. Meinukvin. There's male water, which is rain, and female water, which is the water that comes from the earth. And Hashem says, you don't need to get this Meinukvin from Egypt. Your wife has it. Stay in this land. It's going to be good for you. So he stays. And what happens when he stays? Vayizra. Well, Rivka gets scared over there too. Rivka needs to be calling. And what does he say? Vayizra Yitzchak ba'arez ha'i vayimsa me'vazhanai me'sha'arim v'yivorchehu Adonai v'yigdal ho'ish v'yelech halach v'godel ati godal me'ad v'yigel lo migna v'yihilo migna sen ומגנה וגול ועבוד רבו ויגנו other Palestine. You need a lot of water to grow a lot of wheat. He grew 100 more times what he expected to grow when he planted. Because they just brought water. And he got that from the bracha that Rivka brought. But Rivka needed to be in a place where she was afraid. She needed to call out to Hashem. And then it draws the water. So, where else do we see the water? We see it by Yosef, Yaakov, and Paro. At the bracha, when Yaakov meets Paro for the first time, when Yosef introduces him, Yaakov gives him 2 brachot. He gives him a bracha in the beginning, he gives him a bracha when he leaves. And the bracha that he gives, I forgot which one was it first that it was organized. The bracha that he gives, as he says, he first walks up to him and he brings the water. And he says, this water that I'm bringing, the Nile was dry for 2 years already. They're already 2 years into the famine at this point. No water coming from the Nile. Yaakov comes, he draws the water from behind him, up from the Nile, and that water goes all the way up to the palace floor where it's supposed to go when it floods, not during the regular season. And the water floods up to Paro's feet, and Yaakov says to Paro, "You're going to attract the water. wherever you go. It's a big bracha. How old are you? Oh, that you I know this wisdom. You gave me this power. I'm old and bitter. You're going to live a lot longer than me. A lot longer. That's the second bracha. Shviu shnotecha mirubim al shnotai. That's the second bracha the Medrash brings. You're going to live long. Yaakov leaves, and Yaakov's sons, what's going on? Abba, what just happened over here? This guy thinks he's a god already. Now he attracts water and he's going to live forever? Patience. My boys, relax. Patience. What did Yaakov do at that time? Well, what Yaakov did at that time was take Yosef's power, ability, and he gave it to Paro. What was Yosef's ability? Well, Yosef also attracted the water. How? We thought this was only the women that they attract the water. When Yaakov brought it up, this is something new, but this is before Yaakov brought the water up. So Yosef is in jail, and he's calling out to Hashem. He's doing his work. He's staying tahor, staying kadosh, and he's seeing visions, and he's seeing how he's drawing the water. The water is coming from deep underground. He's drawing it to Egypt, and he's drawing it to Egypt from his plight and from his horrible circumstances that are constantly happening to him. Now, he has the ability to draw the water because there's something different about Yosef than the other of the Avot. When Yosef was in utero, Dinah was also in utero, in Leah. And Leah was also had high level of prophecy, and she understood. She was in all the imahot were neviot. She knew she was having a boy, and they understood the tradition. Yaakov was going to have 12 sons, and and Zilpah and Bilhah already had 2 each, and she's going to have a 7th. Rachel is only going to be able to have 1 boy, Yosef, and not Rachel doesn't have any. So she davens to Hashem, please let the boy go. Let my sister have the boy. And Medrash says that Hashem changed and made Yosef into a boy, in Rachel, made Rachel give birth to a boy when really wasn't supposed to. So Yosef has this tzad, this side that originally coming from the side of the Nekeva. And Yosef is getting visions. He's bringing the water. The water's coming. The water's coming. It's getting drawn from deep underneath the Congo, coming up, rushing down. It's working its way down. And he knows it's coming. But just like any earth cycle, it's drawn out. Earth, the water cycle on Earth. So the water that comes out of ground is getting filled from some other place at some regular steady interval. And once a year it overflows for whatever reason. So Yosef sees this huge flow of water. So what does Yosef know? We're going to get a lot of water. We better manage it well and take advantage of it. And then we're going to lose it because where it's coming from, it's going to be empty until it fills up again. So just as much as we're going to be getting, we're going to be missing on the next back end. And Yosef, that's why he says to the Sarah Mashkim, you're going back to Paro. I'm telling you, you're going back to Paro. And when you go back, you tell him, I told you that you're going back. And that there's a kid in jail that should be his advisor because he knows something big is coming. And Yosef says, oh, fine, good. This is all from Hashem. These dreams, he gave me this, the other dreams. Good. This is my ticket out of here. Hashem says, You can figure, but you can't change what I'm doing. You stay for another 2 years until the water comes. Don't worry. So, 2 years later, it comes. And this is why Yosef wants to tell Paro and tell him he's already learned, because in jail, the jail that they're in has all of the servants of the high-level Egyptian rulers, all the different groups. They don't mix their servants with regular servants, because they know secrets, they know stories, they know everything. They need them to be deep underground, and they need to be away and not talk. And they can only talk amongst each other because they all know back things. What happens in the pit doesn't matter, but keep them away from the layman, or else they're going to learn about the secrets that we do in Egypt. So Yosef is down there, and Yosef is working down there. Oh, what did you do for Paro? Oh, you were in charge of his astrology. Oh, you were the baker. Oh, you were the doctor. Oh, you were this. And he's learning. Oh, you were in charge of the fields. You know the way these work. You know what. Those 2 years, Yosef learns everything about how Egypt operates on the back end of things, and who's in charge and who's not. And he's ready. When he comes out, he does his thing. And on that, Yaakov says, Yosef, your power of drawing the water, I'm activating it. He activates it when Yaakov is next to Yosef. And the water gets drawn because Yosef is standing next to Paro when Yaakov is there. And it's Yosef that's actually bringing all of that water. And Yaakov says, Paro, that's yours now. I'm taking it away from him, and I'm giving what he has to you, and you're going to attract the water. And him, he's going to repel the water now. There's a void. So Yosef uses his ability to repel water by managing all of the irrigations, and creates good irrigation to each different field. Everybody's got to be producing a certain amount. It's got to be organized. This is all Paro's land now. It's got to produce. We need efficient. You didn't get up and work your field to pay your 20% taxes. Yosef puts his foot on the little ta'ala, the canal that goes to his field. Stop. No water's coming to yours. Everything dries up. People see, oh, there's one field that's brown. That guy, he's not paying. His field turned brown. Everybody knows. You got to pay. You got to work. You got to produce. And Yosef is making more grain than Paro has ever seen his whole life. Paro loves the way that Yosef is working. And Yaakov says, oh, you think Yosef made you money? I'm going to make you money, Paro. Not by working with Yosef. He works morning till night. He doesn't even see his family. I'm going to give you a bracha. You're going to attract the water and call whenever you want. You can have all the water you need. How do you like them apples? So on that, the brothers, Abba, what are you doing? And he's going to live long. So, when it's time to leave Egypt, Moshe goes to the Nile because he was told by Serach that the Egyptians buried Yosef, and they took him out of the tombs where he was supposed to be. And instead, they put him in an iron box and concrete and dropped him to the bottom of the Nile. And they did that because they said Yosef promised that when Bnei Israel leaves, they're going to take him. As long as he's stuck underwater, he's not going to leave. That's the Medrash. So I think there's more to that. And I think what it is that the Mitzrayim were saying, you were repelling water. Stopping water to come to our field, stopping up from his field, you were tough on us, Yosef. Now you're dead. Now we're putting you in the water. So you get that off you. So that's why he was in the water. And it's time to leave Mitzrayim. Everybody's going and asking all of the Egyptians, let us borrow some of your clothes, some of your tools, some of your this, weapons. We'll borrow everything. We'll be back. And Moshe is the only one thinking, okay, we need to get Yosef. And he goes to Serach, and Serach tells him where, and he goes over there, and he writes Hashem's name on a petek. He throws it into the water. And he says, Yosef, we're leaving. If you don't get up out now and do what you can do, we're clear from our shvuah. We have no promise anymore. The shvuah is null and void. You're not doing what you can do. We're not doing what we can do. Why? Because he needs to be able to repel the water. He should be able to repel the water. So on that, with the name of Hashem being thrown into the water, it revives that power. And Yosef repels the water. And the whole thing rises. No matter the iron, the concrete, he rises straight out. Moshe opens it up, takes Atzmut Yosef on a stretcher, whatever. I don't know. I can imagine he had something figured out. He went to find him. He had some way of moving him around. Maybe he went with servants, helpers, who knows, probably. So they get to Yam Suf 6 days later. Big water in front of them. Egypt is coming from behind them. What are we going to do? And the Midrash says, Vayar Hayam Bayanos. What did the sea see to run away? So Atzmut Yosef. And then it went, says the Midrash. Why? You know why? Because Yosef repels the water. And Yosef, and Hashem gave that the koach to Yosef. He gave it to all of Bnei Yisrael. He gave it, and he brought that koach down. Yosef, you have it for Bnei Yisrael, and it repelled. All of Bnei Yisrael walked through. They all repelled the water. Paro comes to the water, says, army, everybody in first before me. His entire army's in the water, and then he walks in. Yeah, I got you. And the water looks at Paro and says, we know that guy. Hey! And all the water, Paro and all of his men. And Yaakov was looking from Shammai and said, you see, boys? See? That's what I had in mind.